All right, we are live again. Uh, Apologize for being really this is even later than I even thought, but yeah, I was at least thinking I would at least have made it here by midnight at least. Like sometime I've had midnight streams as well as also midnight premieres there. So, but yeah, so yeah, like I said, we had there's a wifey and I after both worked this morning and then had quite a long afternoon after getting off of work, especially Mother's Day and all that. Just kind of doing pretty much what you would think, yeah. But like I say, but we're here now. Well, I'm here now. And like I say, we are about to read about my old boy Samson. Uh, yeah, the pretty much the biblical. I guess you could say Superman. Technically, technically they say Superman was actually inspired from the story of Moses, actually because of how he came to Earth and like how Moses came to Egypt and stuff like that. But I guess going by the powers like super strength and stuff, yeah, there's that. But technically, I think Samson would probably be more of what inspired the creation of possibly Hercules because of the strength. And some might argue and say, well, technically, like with Zeus and Hercules were actually more origin or were more written sort of, I guess, to mirror, what in the New Testament with, God sending His one only begotten Son. So yeah, and I remember the first time I think watched the Hercules movie and even heard about him in mythology. That was kind of it kind of, especially the way the Disney movie wrote it. It sort of seemed like it was sort of referencing the the true the Bible the New Testament's birth of Jesus and stuff like that. Like it was right kind of getting little tidbits from it and make and in its own fictional version of it there. So yeah, so yeah, pretty much, and I think even my mom kind of saw that there first because I think remember I think the first time I watched Disney Hercules, my mom was watching it with me, and yeah, she kind of got that vibe too, like they was trying to you know pretty much mimic Jesus and God there, but yeah, strength wise, yeah, you could say that yeah that came that they may have also got some inspiration from Samson. So we're about to go into this, starting with Samson's birth. Yeah, 13th chapter and everything. Yep, and hope everybody watching. Hope y'all had a happy Mother's Day and spent some time with your mom, like I say. And as for something mothers related here in the Bible, we should be according to I kind of looked ahead while before I got up here when I was while I was also and then kind of got my thumbnail together. I looked ahead into the book of Judges and saw that we have right at let's see up to I want to say 21 chapters. So Judges is 21 chapters, and we're in the 13th. So after Samson's story, we should be like one Bible reading away from the book of Ruth. And Ruth is actually, I think, is really short there. Yeah, it's short. So technically, it's possible that the book of Ruth might be read like right after the finale of Judges. Ruth might just be read in one Bible reading there. It probably will because it's actually just pretty much 4 chapters for the book of Ruth. So yeah, so next month, so spoiler alert, next month we should be in the book of Samuel, the era of the kings, which of course is where my boy David will show up. So yeah, so we getting along this Bible here. So let's go into this here. Kind of push this back a little bit here. I can kind of set this up here. It's the little more. There we go. All right, there we go. That's a lot better. That's a little better. Okay, so let's go on and start reading here from the 13th chapter, the birth of Samson. And the people of Israel again did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. So the Lord gave them into the hands of the Philistines for 40 years. 40 years. That sounds familiar. Kind of sounds like the time that they were, that's kind of, I don't know, wandering the wilderness for 40 years. I mean, that 40, always 40. And there was a certain man of Zorah, the tribe of the Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren and had no children. The angel of the Lord appeared to the woman and said, "Behold, you are barren and have not borne children, but you shall conceive and bear a son. Therefore, be careful." Here's some instructions. "And drink no wine or strong drink, and eat nothing unclean. And for behold, you shall conceive and bear a son. No razor shall come upon his head, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb. He shall begin to save Israel from the hands of the Philistine." The woman came and told her husband. So yeah, already he said it. So yeah, he's not. He can't. Don't no haircuts, no barbershop appointments. Yeah, no going to shave his head or anything. Let his hair grow out. Let it be long. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And that long lengthy hair. And so she went. So she came and told her husband, "A man of God came to me, and his appearance was like the appearance of the angel of God, very awesome. And I did not ask him where he was from, and he did not tell me his name, but he said, Behold, you shall conceive and bear a son, and drink no wine or strong drink, eat nothing unclean, for the child will be a Nazarite from birth to God, from the womb to the day of his death." Then Moana prayed to God and said, O Lord, please let the man of God who you sent come again to us and teach us what we are to do with the child who will be born. And God listened to the voice of Manoah. Yeah, okay, I think it's Manoah. It's Manoah. And the angel of the Lord came to the woman as she sat in the field, but Manoah, her husband, was not with her. So the woman ran quickly and told her husband, "Behold, the man who came to me the other day has appeared with me." And Manoah rose and went after his wife. And came to the man and said to him, "Are you the man that spoke with this woman?" And he said, "I am." And Manoah said, "When your words come true, what will be this child's manner of life? What is his mission?" The angel of the Lord said to Manoah, all that I said to the woman, let her be careful. She may not eat of anything that comes from may not eat of anything that comes from the vine. Neither let her drink wine or strong drink or eat anything unclean. All that I command her, let her observe. So, yeah, you got them. Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, Let us detain you and prepare a young goat for you. And the angel of the Lord said to Manoah, if you detain me, I will not eat of your food, but if you prepare a burnt offering, offer to the Lord. For Manoah did not know that he was an angel from the Lord. And Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, what is your name, so that when these words come true, we may honor you? And the angel of the Lord said, why do you ask my name, seeing it is wonderful? And Manoah took a young goat with a grain offering, offered it on the rock, to the Lord, to the one who works wonders. And Manoah and his wife were watching. And when the flame went up toward heaven from the altar, and the angel of the Lord went up and went up in the flames of the altar. Now Manoah and his wife were watching. They fell with their faces to the ground. The angel of the Lord appeared no more before Manoah and his wife. Then Manoah knew that he was an angel of the Lord. Manoah said to his wife, we shall surely die. We have seen God. But his wife said, if the Lord meant to kill us, he would not have accepted the burnt offering and the grain offering at our hands, or shown us all these things, or announced such things as these. And the woman bore a son and called his name Samson. And the young man grew, and the Lord blessed him, and the Spirit of the Lord began to stir him in Madadan between Zoa and, and Ishtal. And now Samson's grown up some in the 14th chapter. We're about to hear about his marriage, but big buys, it's not Delilah yet. We are going to get Delilah, yeah, because that is the most well known of Samson's relationship is Delilah. Many stories of Samson and Delilah, but what some people don't know, not everybody, but some people don't know, is that Delilah is not the only woman that Samson has been in a relationship with. He had others. However, the woman we're about to hear in chapter 14, they don't even mention her name. Okay? And like Will Smith said in Fresh Prince, what is her name? So let's have a look. Samson went down to Timnah, and at Timnah he saw one of the daughters of the Philistines. Oh dear. So he going down with the enemy. And when he came up and told his father and mother, I saw one of the daughters of the Philistines of Timnah. Now get her for me as my wife. Surprising that, like you say, I don't know why. It's just how it went, but I kind of find this odd that he finds this woman. I mean, surely it's odd enough that he's finding love in the enemy, because this ain't exactly dude, this is who, you guys are in captivity of these guys, of these people. But he finds love with one of the Philistines, but on top of that, he wants his mom and dad to go get her, rather than, you're a grown man, Samson. You can't just go up there, hey, how you doing? I'm Samson. What's up? You gotta go, mom, dad, I saw this woman. Can you get her for me? Kind of makes it. This is how I'm looking at it. It kind of makes it. It makes me think of, like, a kid. He's an adult, but this is like the equivalent, in my perspective, of a kid seeing like their favorite toy or something, and they run, mom, dad, can I get that? Can you give me that Buzz Lightyear? Yeah, that's what it's kind of sounding like here. Okay, let's keep reading here. That just seemed kind of strange to me, but okay. He came. So he said, I saw one of the daughters. Now get her for me as my wife. But his father and mother said to him, is there not a woman among the daughters of your relatives, among all our people, that you must go take a wife from an uncircumcised Philistine? Yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of siding with the parents on this one here. But Samson said to his father, get her for me. She is right in my eyes. Oh, yeah. And also, like I say, I'm not going to say the name on here, but it kind of reminds me of a certain someone and their relationship with a certain someone, as my mom say, about that unequal yoke. This is another. It's kind of this is an example. It's also an example of unequal yoke. Because remember, the Philistines do not serve God. Samson, the Israelites, I mean, that's the whole purpose. Samson is now, over Israel, their judge now, and he's supposed to keep, it's his job to keep them serving, serving and doing what thus says the Lord. And then you got one of these Philistines over here. That you know they don't serve the Lord, and yeah, they're not gonna serve the Lord. So that would be so in this day and time, that would be the equivalent. Say, you know, I'm a believer in Christ, the Son of God, and saying, read my Bible and try to do, what thus says the Lord. And I go over to somebody to just say, for instance, just say if I wasn't with Christina, and I go out someplace and I see beautiful girl and he's like, hey Gabe, how you doing? So like, hello, nurse. By the way, Gabe, I don't do church and all of that. I don't go. I don't say. I don't think God ain't real. uh, uh, you're pretty. So, yeah, that would be the equivalent of me trying to hook up with somebody I know is not only not a believer in God, but ain't gonna be one no matter what anyone tells them. Because you got some people that they say, what they call, we are supposed to spread the message of God and get people to Christ, but you are gonna have people who you're gonna have some, not everybody, but you're gonna have some people who are not going to accept Christ no matter what you say. And like to say, they're too far gone. So, and Jesus himself said in the New Testament, spoiler alert, you know, everybody's given the choice of right or of good of right or evil. We give the message, but he will not force up on anybody. The person is allowed to make their choice when the message is delivered to them. So they choose not to, then okay. He told his disciples, another spoiler alert, he told his disciples, y'all, I'm sending y'all out to preach the good word, but be advised, if the town you go, if they let you in, like, hey, come on in here, y'all preach your word. If they say, like, man, get out of here, I ain't know about all that Jesus God stuff, get on out of here. I don't want to hear it. Okay? Wipe the dust off your feet, go to the next town. Yeah, okay? Y'all have a nice day. We'll see y'all later. So that's how they do it, yeah. So yeah, so like going back here, I didn't mean to go that far off, but going back here, yeah, Samson with these Philistine women is an example of unequal yoke. Unequal yoke is like, again, believer and an unbeliever. Like certainly, as I say, and I know knew some people like that. So yeah, like I say. So, anyways, then Samson said to his father, "Get her for me. She is right in my eyes. She pretty." His father and mother did not know that it was from the Lord, for he was seeking an opportunity against the Philistines. At that time, the Philistines ruled over Israel. Okay. So, okay. So, they say the Lord will take what's meant for evil and use it for good. Okay, let's see what we got going here now. Then Samson went down with his father and the mother of Timnah, and they came to the vineyards of Timnah. Behold, a young lion came toward him roaring, and the Spirit of the Lord rushed upon him, and although he had nothing in his hand, he tore the lion to pieces as one tears a young goat. Oh boy. Okay. But he did not tell his mother or father what he'd done. He went down and talked with the woman, and she was right in Samson's eyes. After some days, he returned to take her, and as he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion, behold, there was a swarm of bees in the body of the lion and honey. He scraped it up into his hands and went on eating as he went. Okay. Say, well, depends because of where that honey, because of the fact it was in a lion's carcass. Okay. And he came to his father and mother, gave some to them, and they ate, but he did not tell them that he had scraped the honey from the carcass of the lion. Yeah, I guess that might be. Yes, it might be good that he didn't tell them about. Oh boy. Oh, by the way, Mom and Dad got that from a carcass of a lion. Oh. His father went down to the woman, and Samson prepared a feast there. For so the young men used to do. As soon as the people saw him, they brought 30 champions to be with him. Samson said to them, now let me now put a riddle on you. If you can tell me what it is within 7 days of the feast and find it out, I will give you 30 linen garments and 30 changes of clothes. But if you cannot tell me what it is, you shall give me 30 linen garments and 30 changes of clothes. And they said to him, put your riddle so we may hear it. And he said to them, that's pretty interesting that somebody, that's super strong like this has, sort of like riddles there. Very interesting mix. Out of the eater came something to eat. Out of the strong came something sweet. And in 3 days they could not solve the riddle, but on the fourth day they said to Samson's wife, entice your husband to tell us what the riddle is, lest we burn you and your father's house with fire. Oh my God. So, oh no. So they're so desperate to solve this riddle that they threaten. And remember, and take in mind, remember, we said that earlier, it's this woman that Samson is now married to is a Philistine, one of their own. And you're threatening her, oh dear. Unless we burn house, that's almost sorry, I have to mention this because that threat sort of made me think of Yzma from Emperor's New Groove, which is they tell us what the talking llama is and we'll burn your house to the ground. Oh, don't you mean or? Tell us what the talking llama is. Oh, or we'll burn your house to the ground. So that's a pretty critical conjunction. So yeah. So anyway, so again, they say, entice your husband to tell us the riddle, lest we burn you and your father's house with fire. Have you invited us here to impoverish us? And Samson's wife wept over him and said, you only hate me. You do not love me. You have put a riddle to my people, and you have not told them what it is. And he said to her, behold, I have not told my mother and father, and shall I tell you? She wept before him, and 7 days their feast lasted. On the 7th day, he told her because she pressed him hard, and she told the riddle to her people. And the men of the city said on the 7th day before the sun went down, what is sweeter than honey and stronger than a lion? And he said, what is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion? And he said to him, if you had not plowed with my heifer, wow, okay, you would not have found out the riddle. And the Spirit of the Lord rushed upon him. he went down to Ashkelon and struck down 30 men and took their spoils and gave those garments to who had told the riddle. In hot anger, he went back to his father's house, and Samson's wife, who they have not named, was given to his champion who had been his best man. Wow. So I guess if so I guess in my case that if I was Samson, I guess this would be uh just say not even Christina, probably some other girl, probably maybe my ex from high school, and just this would be like if say all of a sudden she got given or better yet, my ex from middle school, because yeah, there was another guy, my ex girlfriend by the way from middle school, and there was another guy that she ended up leaving me for. So yeah, so yeah, I guess in that position, yeah, that other guy would have been my best man. Like, I know you didn't. Look at us, like. But besides Samson, we hadn't even said her name, so at least you don't have to remember the name anymore. Thanks, Samson. 15th chapter. After some days, at the time of wheat harvest, Samson went to visit his wife with a young goat, and he said, I will go to my wife in the chamber, but her father would not would not allow him to go in. And her father say, I really thought that you utterly hated her, so I gave her to your champion. Is not her younger sister more beautiful than she? Please take her instead. No, wow, you're trying the old Uncle Laban trick again. Remember, anybody who hasn't seen my previous Bible readings, remember Uncle Laban from the Book of Genesis? And Joseph, he saw Rachel, like, hey Rachel, how you doing? Will you marry me? Oh yes, yes indeed, Joseph. Jacob. Sorry. Oh, okay, Joe. Okay, nephew. Yeah. I'll set you guys up. This worked for me for 7 years, and she all yours, nephew. I'm cool like that. Then 7 years come. Wait a minute. You're not Rachel. You're Leah. Well, I forgot to tell you that we have to give the oldest daughter up first before the youngest daughter. I asked to marry Rachel, and you tricked me. Hey, Jacob, trick is such an ugly word. No, I tell you what. I didn't quite tell you. I tell you, I'll make it fair. I can make. Hey, calm down, nephew. Just spend a little more time with Leah, about a week or so. There, cause she fine. Hey, guys, come on. Now, think about it. And if you do that, just do that, Jacob, and then you can have Rachel. How does that sound? Then you have two. Yeah, don't say I never done nothing for you, boy. All right, Uncle. All right. As a joke, Jacob was feeling like I was in that little short I made. When your day job drives you insane. Say, so yeah, that's up to go. That's what came to my mind with this incident with Samson here. So yeah, take her. Is not her younger sister more beautiful than she? Please take her instead. Ironic in Jacob's case, he wanted the younger sister and got the older sister instead, then got the younger sister. In this case, Samson apparently married the oldest of this family, the oldest girl or woman, and now they trying. And now like, hey, your best man got us. So hey, this a younger sister here. She pretty, and she younger. What you say, Samson? So please take her instead. Samson said to them, this time I shall be innocent in regard to the Philistines when I do them harm. Samson went and caught 300 foxes and took torches. He turned them tail to tail, put the torches between each pairs of tails, and when he set fire to the torches, he let the foxes go into the standing grain of the Philistines and set fire to the torches. He let the foxes go into the standing grain of the orchard, say of the Philistines, and set fire to the stacked grain of the standing grain, as well as the olive orchards. And the Philistines said, who has done this? They said, Samson, the son-in-law of the Timite, because he has taken his wife and given her to his champion. Samson didn't give his wife to the champion. One of you guys gave his wife away. Samson didn't give his wife. Who? What? Wait. Whoa. What man? What man is going to give away their own wife willingly like that in this scenario? Think about that. I know I ain't giving Christina up there. We say, hey, say, will you marry me? Yes, Gabe. We get married. I ain't giving her up. That's my wife till death do us part. You tell me, I ain't gonna get. Say, my best man in our wedding was actually one of my cousins there. I'm cool. Hey, cuz, we cool and everything. We played video games and stuff like that, Super Smash Brothers and stuff like that. We real cool with each other. But I'm nothing personal. But I ain't giving you my wife. I'm just saying, Even if my best man was my boy EJ the Supreme, and we cool, we all see us on the channel together. But I should, but like I say again, nothing personal. But I'm sorry, EJ, you're not getting my wife. I'm just, we can't do that. So yeah, y'all might, yeah. What made y'all think Samson gave her away? I know Samson would I can tell you now, Samson ain't gonna do something like that. Instead of say Samson giving her to his companion, and say the Philistine came up and burned her and her father with fire. Oh my Lord! So they got so mad about this incident. They didn't come and attack Samson, like for payback. Like, no, they went and burned who was supposed to be his wife, even though she was a Philistine like them. These guys are crazy. These guys are plumb crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Why would you burned your own people? Oh boy. Show you how crazy some folks can get. Burned it with fire. Samson said to them, if this is what you do, I swear I will be avenged, and after that I will quit. He struck them hip and thigh with a great blow, and he went down and stayed in the cliff at the rock of Etham. The Philistines came up and encamped in Judah and made a raid on Lehi. And the men of Judah said, why have you come up against us? They said, we have come up to bind Samson to do to him what he did to us. 3,000 men of Judea went down to the cliff of the rock of Etham and said to Samson, do you not know that the Philistines are rulers over us? What then is this that you have done to us? They kind of mentioned some of this in the version that they have for kids, the Greatest Adventure from the Bible Story that I grew up with back in the '90s as a kid, Samson and Delilah. Now they didn't mention all about his previous relationships. There was one mention. There was one mention, but it was just a mention. But anyway, yeah, they did. But they did. The Israel was kind of like on Samson's case about getting these Philistines riled up. Like, hey, Samson, dude, chill out, man. These Philistines are ruling over us, and you getting them upset. That then they taking this, they gonna be coming attacking us, man. You gotta chill out, bro. Come on, stop it, Samson. Cut it out. So yeah, why have you what have you done? He said to them, as they did to me, so I have done this, so I have done to them. And they said to him, we have come that we may bind you and give you in the hands of the Philistine. Samson said to them, swear to me that you will not attack me yourself. So they said to him, no, we will only bind you and give you into their hands. We will surely not kill you. So they bound him with 2 new ropes. They did do this in the story, the animated version. They did do this with 2 new ropes and brought him up from the rock. He came up to Lehi, and the Philistines came shouting to meet. Then the Spirit of the Lord rushed upon him, and the ropes that were on his arms became as flax that has caught fire, and the bonds melted off his hands, and he found a fresh jawbone of a donkey, and put out his hand and took it, and with it he struck 1,000 men. And Samson said, with the jawbone of the donkey, heaps upon heaps, with the jawbone of a donkey, I have struck down 1,000 men. And so, and as soon as he had finished speaking, he threw away the jawbone out of his hand at a place called Ramoth Lehi. And he was very thirsty. He called upon the Lord and said, He called upon the Lord and said, you have granted this great salvation by the hand of your servant, and now I shall die of thirst into the hands of the uncircumcised. God split open a hollow place at Lehi. Water came from it, and he drank, and his spirit returned, and he was revived. And therefore, the name of this place will be called Ikakar. It was at Lehi to this day that he judged the Israel in the days of the Philistines 20 years. And now, the piece of resistance, the big, well-known story in Samson history, Samson and Delilah. Samson went to Gaza, and there he saw a prostitute and went into her, and the Gazites were told, Samson has come here. So they surrounded the place and set an ambush for him all night at the gate of the city. They kept quiet, saying, let us wait till the light of the morning. We will kill him. But Samson lay till midnight, and at midnight he arose and took the doors of the gate of the city and the 2 posts and pulled them up, bar and all, and put them on his shoulders and carried them to the top of the hill, which is Haram. Dude, so strong. He practically just picked the door up. Now don't get me wrong. You would need some strength, like the doors we got like here in my house and stuff like that. Yeah, that would take some strength to just tear these doors off the hinges with your bare hands. But these were not the doors here in my house. These were like some big gate-sized door, like these real big doors, sort of like say, you see like in different like a lot of these old films there, like with say some adaptations of the Bible, or even some like Greek films and stuff like that, Greek mythology and stuff like that. These big doors of Odyssey, stuff like that. So Samson lay the midnight. So he arose, he took on his shoulder, and after this, he loved the woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. And the lords of the Philistines came to her and said to her, seduce him and see where his strength lies. Here we go again. And by what means we may overpower him, that we may bind him to humble him, and we will give you 1,100 pieces of silver. So Delilah said to Samson, please tell me where your great strength lies, and he will be bound and how you might be bound that one could subdue you. Samson told her, if they bind me with 7 fresh bowstrings that have not been dried, then I shall become weak like any other man. Lord, the Philistines brought up 7 fresh bowstrings that had not been dried. She bound him with them, and she had men lying in ambush in the inner chamber. She said to him, the Philistines are upon you, Samson. But he snapped the bowstrings as a thread of flax snaps when it touches the fire. So the secret of his strength was not known. And so if Samson is telling her, is not obviously not telling her, about the hair thing yet. Dude, the fact that she's asking you, aren't you the least bit suspicious? Okay, let's keep reading. Then Delilah said to Samson, behold, you have mocked me and told lies. Lies! Please tell me how you might be bound. And he said to her, if they bind me with new ropes that have not been used, and I shall become weak like any other man. So Delilah took the new ropes and bound them with them and said, the Philistines are upon you, Samson. And the men lying in ambush were in an inner chamber, but he snapped the ropes off like a thread. And let me tell you, this is why I made the thumbnail the way I did. I'm going to share a little something about this thumbnail that I chose for this video y'all clicked on. So you notice, you look real closely. Anybody who's watched Tyler Perry movies, that's actually what's his name? I can't think of his name, but the guy who played Marcus and the lady who played his wife Angela. And remember in I used that image for I think there was another one where I had the image of Jamie Foxx, and I've had some others. But the reason I used those two for like this kind of fan picture of Samson Delilah, because I was thinking in terms of the story where Delilah keep asking, what is the secret of your strength, and Samson kept telling her, kept telling her some tall tales and not the truth, which is and it reminded me of Why'd I Get Married 2, the sequel, when Angela kept asking Marcus for the password. Hey, what's the password? Give me the password. So yeah, it's almost like just this picture in your mind. If this was like a movie version of Samson and Delilah, and Marcus and Angela from Why'd I Get Married and For Better or For Worse was playing Samson and Delilah, and she was like, give me the secret to your strength. Give me the secret to your strength. You want the secret to my strength? You want the secret to my strength? Then Delilah said to Samson, behold, you have mocked me and told me. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, sample like 3. Then Delilah said to Samson, until now you have mocked me and told me lies. Tell me how you might be bound. And he said to her, if you weave the 7 locks of my head with a web and fasten it tight with a pin, I shall become weak like any other man. While he slept, he keep falling asleep after he tells her this stuff. And like, Delilah took 7 locks of his hair and wove them into a web. She made it tight with a pin and said to him, the Philistines are upon me. But he woke from his sleep and pulled the pin away in the loom of the web. She said to him, how can you say you love me when your heart is not with me? Well, that old line again. How can you say you love me if your heart's not with me and you won't even trust me, you don't really love me. But baby, I do. No, you don't. No, you don't. You have mocked me these 3 times and have not told me where your great strength lies. And then when she pressed him hard with her words day after day, he urged him. His soul was vexed with death. And he told her his heart and said to her, a razor has never come upon my head. I have been a Nazarite to God from my mother's womb. If my head is shaven, then my strength will leave me and I shall become weak like any other man. When Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called the lords of the Philistines, say, come up again. He has told me all his heart. And the lords of the Philistines came up and brought to her and brought the money in their hands. She made him fall asleep on her knees and called the man and had him shave off the 7 locks off of his head. And she began to torment him, and his strength left him. Mm. And she said, the Philistines are upon you, Samson. He awoke from his sleep. I will go out as the other times and shake myself free. But he did not know that the Lord had left him. And the Philistines seized him and gouged his eyes and brought him to Gaza and bound him with bronze shackles. Oh boy. And then put his eyes out. Oof. Oh boy, that hurts. Whew. And he ground at the mill in the prison, but the hair on his head began to grow again after it had been shaved there. So we don't know how long they kept him down there. Now the lords of the Philistines gathered to offer a great sacrifice to Dagger, their god, and rejoice, and they say, our God has given Samson, our enemy, into our hand. And when the people saw him, they praised their God, for they said, our God has given our enemy into our hands, the ravager of our country, who killed many of us. And when their hearts were merry, they said, call Samson that he may entertain us. So they called Samson out of prison, and he entertained them. They made him stand between the pillars. Samson said to the young man who held him by the hand, let me feel the pillars for which the house rests, so I may be lean against them. The house was full of men and women. All the lords of the Philistines were there on the roof, about 3,000 men and women who looked upon Samson, or looked while Samson entertained. And Samson called to the Lord and said, oh Lord God, please strengthen me only this once, oh God, that I may be avenged on the Philistines for my 2 eyes. Samson grasped the 2 middle pillars on which the house rested, and he leaned his weight against them, his right hand on one, his left hand on the other. And Samson said, let me die with the Philistines. He bowed with all his strength. He bowed with all his strength, and the house fell upon the lords and upon all the people who were in it. So the dead whom he killed at his death were more than whom he had killed during his life. Then his brothers and family came and took him and brought him and buried him between Zoar and Esther, the tomb of Manoah, his father, and he had judged Israel for 20 years. So that was the end of old Samson. I'm going to go on and got a short one here. I'm going to go and read 17th chapter and end it here. Malachi and the Levite. So there was a man on the hill country of Ephraim whose name was Malachi, and he said to his mother, the 1,100 pieces of silver that were taken, about which you uttered curse, and also spoke in my ears, behold, the silver is with me. He took the silver to his mother, and his mother said, I dedicate the silver to the Lord from my son. Make him a carved image and a metal image, and I will restore it to you. And when he restored the money to his mother took 200 pieces of silver and gave it to a silversmith who made it and carved the image in a metal image, and was in the house of Micah. And the man Micah had a shrine made in Ephod. And there was no and Ephod and household gods, and ordained one of his sons who became priest. In those days there was no king in Israel. Everyone did what was right in his own eyes. Oh boy. And there was a young man of Bethlehem in Judea, family of Judah, who was a Levite, and he sojourned there. And the man departed from the town of Bethlehem in Judea to sojourn where he could find a place. As he journeyed, came to the hill to the country of Ephraim, the house of Micah. And Micah said to him, "Where do you come from?" He said, "I am a Levite of Bethlehem in Judea. I am going to sojourn where I may find a place." And Micah said to him, "Stay with me and be to me a father and a priest. I will give you 10 pieces of silver a year, a suit of clothes, and and your living." The Levite went in. The Levite was content to dwell with the man. The young man became like one of his sons. Micah ordained the Levite, and the young man became his priest in the house. And in the house of Micah, Micah said, "Now I know now that the Lord will prosper because I have a Levite as priest." So that's what we're stopping there for the day. It looks like in the final chapters of Judges that we'll be finishing next Sunday. It looks like we got like there's nobody is ruling at the time in Israel, so things might be a little chaotic, and I think it's also going to be like that in the book of Ruth. So yeah, like I said, next Sunday we'll finish Judges 18 through 21, the finale of Judges, and excuse me, then like I say, Ruth is a very short book in the Bible, only 4 chapters. So we would obviously be able to do Ruth, like I say, next Sunday, finale of Judges on the 17th, 24th, Ruth, and then after that, we start Samuel, First Samuel. Yeah, the era of the kings is upon us. So yeah, like I say, that will be so that's how things are gonna go. So like I say, for now, don't only cut this here. Excuse me. Y'all definitely make sure you like, share, subscribe, get our available books. Definitely support us on Patreon, just like the Iceman Universe does. Also support the Miracle Crew. Yours truly, King Gabe, Quintina, Big Sis Casey, Janara Nellens, Jen, aka Chris Godfrey, and of course, Egypt the Supreme. Just like you hang out with us in the live streams, also hang out with us on Discord, Facebook, and let's tell each other some stuff on the McCary app. And all that said, we will see y'all in the next video. Y'all take care, everybody. Peace out.